Hi, my name is Jayaprashant Mohanram and you are watching Car Talk. So today we are at Bangalore near the picturesque Nandi Hills. This is the Avati Lake and that is the Kia Carens Clavis. So what is the Kia Carens Clavis? Kia launched the Carens in 2022, 3 years down the line. They facelifted the car and that's why they're calling it the Kia Carens Clavis. And one more reason, Kia is selling both the Carens and the Clavis in India together. That is why to differentiate this car, they're calling it the Clavis. So the Clavis is not a MPV according to Kia, they're calling it a recreational vehicle. So why is it a recreational vehicle? Come, I'll show you. So why does Kia call the Carens Clavis a RV rather than an MPV? RV here stands for recreational vehicle. It's mainly due to the styling. First of all, you've got the bonnet, a high set bonnet, nice squared off bonnet up front, and then Kia emphasizes width. So you've got connected DRLs and you also have DRL position lamps here. So overall this gives the car a sense of width. Even the front bumper is reprofiled and it makes the car look much wider. In fact, this is one of those MPVs where it's wider than it's taller. Generally MPVs are taller than wider, but this is wider than it's taller, about 60 mm wider. The width is more than its height. So now let's talk about the stylistic changes in front. As I said, you've got these new DRLs here. You've got a triple matrix ice cube LED headlamp, and then the bumper is new. There is this new skid plate finished in nice glossy aluminum. All in all, this is basically the new front end of the Kia Carens Clavis, which gives it a very butch look up front. Now let's talk about the stylistic changes on the side, the profile of the car. First things first, you've got 17-inch alloy wheels that fill the wheel wells quite well. Again, MPVs generally have small wheels, but these larger wheels make it look more crossover-ish, SUV-like than an MPV. Then you've got new cladding here. Satin finish, then some more cladding, and this makes the cabin look shorter than it actually is. Again, an element that makes it look more SUV like. Then there's this nice chrome lining that runs from the front to the rear. Then now going on to the top, you've got these roof rails, four roof rails, and again coming forward now, you've got these 360 camera, the cameras on the wing mirrors. This is another change. And finally, let's go to the rear and see what the Clavis has to offer. The tail lamps are new. They make the rear again look quite wide because they're connected tail lamps. And these tail lamps that we saw first in the Kia Seltos facelift and the Sonet, and now they finally arrived into the Carens Clavis. They're quite edgy. And one more change to the rear, new bumper. Again, aluminum four aluminum skid plate there with again a glossy finish. And now moving towards the top of the car, you have these there's a high mounted stop lamp. You also have this spoiler, then the shark fin antenna there, and finally you've got a dual pane sunroof of which one pane opens. And before I forget, again, let's come closer. The Carens Clavis, the badging. Clavis basically means this is the facelifted Carens. So now I'm sitting in the completely refreshed, updated cabin of the Kia Carens. This is the Kia Clavis we're talking about, the Carens Clavis. Completely updated cabin. First things first, you've got electric power adjust for the seat, four-way adjust, fore and aft, and you also have the adjust for your recline. So once you get into the seats themselves are extremely comfortable, ventilated seats, leather, they nicely wrap around you, and getting a comfortable driving position is very easy because the steering is adjustable both for tilt as well as for tilt and telescopic steering, even for reach and rake. And once you get a comfortable driving position, what you'll also like is, since the bonnet is so high set, you have a commanding view from the driver's seat. It's almost like you're driving a SUV rather than a MPV. And again, this is why Kia calls it the RV, or a recreational vehicle. So this is basically about your seating position. And then whatever you touch inside the cabin feels of really good quality. You've got leather here. This is an armrest. There's leather here as well, some armrest, and this is beige. The color overall is beige and navy blue. This is navy blue on the dashboard, and you have beige rest of the places. So it's a very nice color combination that we also saw in the Ciros, if I'm not wrong. So everything that you touch feels high quality in this car. There's a little bit of fabric on the dashboard as well. This is something that a lot of new cars are getting. Plenty of aluminum, faux aluminum stuff also going about, making, giving it nice contrast on the dashboard. So this is basically how it feels. Coming to the steering itself, this again is something that we saw on the Ciros. It's a new steering unit. You've got, since this car is ADAS, you've got ADAS functions here, adaptive cruise, your lane keep, and you also have forward collision warning as well as braking here. And then you have the different modes here in terms of calling. You've got voice functions here, the mode button. Again, the switches and all the controls, the toggles, everything on this car feel quite premium. And coming back to the steering, I want to show you one more thing. It's got paddle shifters. Since we are in the top end HTX Plus version, the automatic version, you've got paddle shifters. Again, nice tactility, feels quite good. Behind the paddle shifters, you have these control stalks. Okay, again, very tactile and nice to use, feel high quality. You've got both automatic wipers as well as automatic headlamps. Then coming again to the dashboard, you've got these AC vents that, nice design. This almost feels like a part of the dashboard, then something is added. So it's very usable. This is one more thing that I wanted to highlight. So overall, and now coming back to the seats, very, very premium feeling. Just look at the seats. They're ventilated seats, front for driver and co-passenger in the top end trims, and they're ventilated, and overall they feel very nice to sit. And this is a new design for the seats as well. So it's almost a luxury car touch. Now I'll show you something here near the center console. You've got this first in segment feature. So right now you're in AC controls. You can actually swap between AC controls and the AV, and that is the navigation and your infotainment unit. So this button, you can see all this. So this is your navigation, your maps, and your media and all that. And once you want to go back to, say, your air conditioning, you have to press this. You have this automatic climate control stuff happening. Coming back to the center console, this is from where you control your seat ventilation for the passenger driver. This also has the hill descent control. Also multiple drive modes. Since it's an automatic top end versions, both the diesel and petrol have drive modes: eco, sport, and normal. Then you also have a parking camera. This is again your parking sensor, and you have this airline style gear selector. Since it's an automatic we're talking about, you also have wireless charging here. My phone's placed here. This is your wireless charging. And coming here, there's one more new feature in the Carens. This is an electric parking brake, hill hold. You've got cup holders that are cooled. This is how you control it, open and close. These are cooled vents. And then you have a lot of storage. So there's a lot of storage here as well. You can see the storage, quite deep. Plenty of stuff you can keep there. And you put this if you don't want to use that. You don't want to access that, maybe for your parking receipts. So overall, this is the from the front seat of the Kia Carens Clavis. Stepping into the rear seat of the Kia Carens Clavis, I literally walk in. It's really easy to get in because you walk in, it's got a high set floor. So I'm sitting inside the cabin. Like the front seats feel very luxuriously appointed. These are leather seats, but the only thing is they don't have ventilation. I would have liked ventilation, especially since there's a top end 6-seat variant where captain seats in between. I would have liked ventilation, but otherwise it's quite a comfortable place. There's some nice leather cladding here, so it's very comfortable. There's these armrests, so you sit in a very comfortable way, and plenty of space. I've pushed it back to the maximum possible extent, and plenty of leg room here, knee room, and then it's a very tall, reasonably tall car. So a lot of headroom. I'm 5'7", but even a 6-footer is going to be quite comfortable in this place. Then you also have these window shades here. Since sunroof film is illegal, this is actually a nice to have touch here. And there are a bunch of utilities for people sitting at the rear, especially the middle row occupants. First things first, you've got a AC blower here. So you can use the blower to control the AC vents that you can actually direct towards yourself. This is in the top. So you use that blower to control this. And you also have 2 charging points again near the center console. USB Type-C for both the people sitting in the captain seats. And you also have this nifty feature. You push that up, you get cool air coming here. So you can cool something, maybe a chocolate, maybe a drink, you can cool it there. So these are some nice features for the middle row of the Kia Carens, the captain seats, because we are talking about the top end HTX Plus trim 6-seater version. And now I'll show you some more features. There is this tray table, okay, where you can have a drink or two, and maybe you can even keep your device here. It can form an infotainment console if you like. And apart from that, you also have boss mode. You can actually push this seat front, and without having actually the driver to do so, which you're asking him to do, push it in front, you can do that by your own. So this is the boss mode here. And one thing I didn't like about the rear seat of the Kia Carens has to do with this. This is an air purifier unit. It's almost stuck onto the seat. So it's something that I don't like. Even the older Carens had it, the Clavis also has it. This should have been moved there into the center console, but they haven't done it because they wanted possibly a very deep glow box. And since this purifier unit is here, it looks quite tacky and aftermarket, and this is something out of place. Overall, the car is well appointed everywhere else, save for this part. This part actually makes the rear seat a little the seat back, front driver seat a little tacky. So this is something I don't like. Before I forget, I want to highlight a beautiful feature that the Kia Carens Clavis has. It has to do with Bose. It's got an 8-speaker Bose system, and trust me, the sound is absolutely fantastic. You listen to this, car, you increase your volume, it doesn't distort even at the highest volume. It just sounds so beautiful. The Bose speaker setup for the infotainment unit, I think, is a beautiful feature that a lot of people are going to, audiophiles especially, are going to enjoy on the Kia Carens Clavis. Now let's get into the third row of the Kia Carens Clavis. Third row is generally a place nobody wants to be in, MPV or no MPV, but sure, let's see. First thing, there's tumble down seats, really nice function. Just look at this, tumbles down. I can go in easily and settle myself. So plenty of space. I'm for 5'7", reasonable amount of knee room, plenty of headroom, and I really like the stadium type seating where everything slopes up. And remember, this car has a wheelbase that's longer than that of even the Innova Crysta, and because of so much wheelbase, Kia has managed to make the third seat quite comfortable. So it's a fantastic 6-seater. Somebody who's very broad may not really like it, but for somebody who's about 70 to 80 kilos just like me, can easily fit in the rear seat. I'm 171 centimeters if you just want an indication of what it is like for somebody of my stature to sit in the third seat. Also like the fact that you have a USB Type-C, you also have cup holders, you have a device tray, a bunch of utilities for person sitting on the rear seat, and on the roof you also have these vents which give you this cool air conditioning, and you also have these reading lamp. You need it, you can use that cabin lamps, but otherwise it's quite a comfortable place. It's one of the better 6-seaters I've been in. In fact, in this segment I think it's possibly one of the best. So this is the rear third row of the Carens Clavis. It also has adjustable headrests, so that is another good feature on this car. And the last feature, the party feature possibly for this, is this: you can actually recline it. So there's a recline function as well. There's some luggage, so I'm not reclining it fully, but if there's no luggage, you can recline it quite a bit. So all in all, the third row is in the Clavis is a very comfortable place to be in, and full marks to Kia for engineering something so well. Now let me give you a quick overview of what the boot of the Kia Carens Clavis has to offer. So this is the boot. As you can see, a soft bag. This is an airport cabin bag, and there is space for one more soft bag. 215 liters is what Kia claims. This is with all seats up. So once these seats go down, you get plenty of space, and of course remember these seats can be tumbled down. Okay, once you tumble down that seat and you also tumble down this seat, you get plenty of space. You can even carry long luggage, so there is a fair bit of versatility. But with all seats up, this is the amount of space you get. So if you are going to travel with a lot of luggage, you will have to get a roof box or a roof carrier in this car. But if you don't have a lot of luggage, you're just traveling within the city with 6 people on board, plenty of space. This is sufficient. So I'm now driving the Kia Carens Clavis. This is essentially the facelifted Carens, but it will coexist with the original Carens. So Carens was launched in 2022. 3 years later, we have the Clavis. In terms of engines, nothing much has changed. So what I'm driving is the 1.5 liter turbo petrol engine with about 160 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque. So this is easily the most powerful MPV that you can buy in the sub 20 lakh rupee class. They haven't announced prices, but we estimate that it will be slightly pricier than the older variant, but not much more than that. So that is one thing. So in terms of performance, it does show you that it is a very solidly built turbo petrol that has got a lot of torque. That's one thing. Second thing, it's paired to a 7-speed automatic gearbox, a twin clutch automatic gearbox, and shifts are quite effortless and breezy, and you can, the car really wants to move. So it's easily, if you want a MPV, or Kia calls it a recreational vehicle, but bottom line, this is a MPV. So if you want an MPV that really drives well, it's one of the sportier MPVs in the market. The Kia Carens Clavis really shines. It's far better than the Ertigas and the Rumions of this world. And if you compare it with the Innova, remember one thing, this has got a wheelbase which is longer than an Innova. So a lot of people can even compare it to the Innova. Innova doesn't have a petrol engine on offer as of now. It's only a diesel. So compared to a Innova, this feels a lot more fun to drive. It feels much more chuckable, and it's got multiple drive modes. You've got eco, normal, and sport. In sport mode, it really moves, and gear shifts gets more rapid. It holds on to a gear for much longer, etc. And the other thing is, even the steering, I felt got more taut as we shifted into the sport mode. Eco mode is easy for scooting around town. It's just easy, but the best mode I think is normal, which is a good compromise between gear shift quality as well as overall efficiency as well as power. All of it, the normal mode does a fair job. Now, since it's a MPV or a recreational vehicle, the other big thing is ride quality. So I'm a Sonnet owner myself, and I find the ride to be sporty, but it is almost bordering harsh. A lot of people will not like the ride, especially elders. But for such people, the Carens Clavis is quite fantastic, because even though it rides on 17-inch wheels, it has a very nice soft edge to the ride. So there's no it's not a very firmly sprung car. That softly sprung car, and this actually helps you quite a bit when it comes to bumps, potholes, etc. You can take it at good speeds. So fatigue is quite low in this car. Even longer distances won't really matter with the family, because it's sprung so well. But since it's softly sprung, there is a hint of body roll. More than a hint of body roll. So this is a car that doesn't really like to be thrown around corners. So you can throw it around. The car will still hold its line, but people inside are going to start squirming, because there will be a fair amount of body roll in this car. So that is basically the basics on how the Carens Clavis drives like. Now, coming to another important part of the drive experience, braking. The Clavis across trims has disc brakes on all 4 wheels. So I think this is another good point in favor of the Clavis, because stopping power is more than adequate. This car stops on a dime, so that is a good thing about having disc brakes on all 4 wheels. So these are some good bits about the overall drive experience of the Carens. I didn't really find anything negative about the drive. It handles quite well. It's got a very plush ride quality, and the steering is quite responsive. It's an electric steering, but it weighs up well as speeds go up. Then you've got this slick shifting, quick shifting, a 7-speed dual clutch gearbox, and the engine is quite responsive. But there's one downside that I experienced, because once I poked under the hood, I realized that there's no cladding or sound deadening material under the hood, because of which the engine, especially at 4,000 to 5,000 RPM, can get a little boomy. But at idle, it's totally quiet, and you don't even know that it's idling. So it's that quiet. But at those, at about 4,000 to 5,000 RPM, it can get a little boomy, and some people may find it, on the harsher side because of the amount of noise it makes. So that is the only downside, so to speak, that I found while driving the Carens. And even this can be fixed, the Carens Clavis. Even this can be fixed with sound deadening material, but you know, as bone stock, it doesn't have it even on the top end trims. One more thing about the Carens, especially when you drive it, you'll realize Carens Clavis that this car has level 2 ADAS with both radar and camera based systems working in tandem. It works quite well. I mean, unfortunately on our car, the front collision warning as well as the emergency braking was turned off. But the other things, lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control were turned on, and they work very well. All in all, Kia says that this is a recreational vehicle. It's somewhere in between SUV and MPV. And I think it can actually pull this tag off because in the way it looks and the way it drives, etc., it's got that SUV-ish appeal, especially with, you know, visibility from the driver's seat where you see the edges of the bonnet, etc. So this is basically the overall drive impressions of the Carens Clavis. I came back quite impressed. So we've come to the end of the Kia Carens Clavis drive. We drove around Nandi Hills. I drove the 1.5 litre turbo petrol engine variant with the 7-speed DCT, which is again just the engine and transmission. You know, that's a very sporty package. In fact, this is the most powerful MPV in its class, and also the sportiest thanks to the DCT automatic gearbox. In terms of looks, it looks more crossover-ish than MPV. So Kia markets it as an RV, and I think after driving this, experiencing the comfort, experiencing the luxury, and the kind of tech that's into this car, again best in segment. You have a massive touch screen, you've got a lot of features, a lot of connected car features. All in all, this car punches above its weight. That's one thing. And the second thing is, Kia's done well to market it as a recreational vehicle than an MPV, because if you're a family man or a woman who wants, say, to transport 4 or 6 people in comfort, but you want that sporty edge, this car will do it for you. At the same time, the suspension is soft and absorbent, a lot more softer than both the Seltos and the Sonnet, for that matter, even the Syros. So all in all, this is a fantastic, a sporty family car is what I would call, and that's possibly the reason why Kia is calling it a recreational vehicle. I think full marks to them for engineering this car, a very well engineered product. Prices will be out soon. I think it's going to be quite competitive. And if you want something sporty in the MPV space, a recreational vehicle, so to speak, this is the one to go for. So I've come to the end of the review. This is basically the Kia Carens Clavis for you. So what do you think about this car? Do let us know in the comments below. If you like this kind of content, hit that like button, subscribe to Car Talk. Thank you very much for watching.